Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, April the 12th, 2000 or April 13th, my apologies, 2021. Today I'm going to give you a nice opportunity here to kind of check out and see what we do here at Trendy Trading. We're going to do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In front of you is the screen. I use the weekly and the 4 hour most of the time, but a lot of times we also use monthly candles, quarterly candles, and then we will break it down towards the end of the week if we're looking at shorter term time frame options and so forth. But for right now, just to get familiar with my screen, you could see a roll-in banner across the top here. These are my current positions. All right, and then the weekly again on the left, and on the right we have the 4 hour. All right, so we have quite a few that I want to discuss this morning. We do have some CPI numbers coming out at 8:30 Eastern time, so about 29 minutes from now, we will get those numbers. There is some J&J news out there on the front. Remember, Trendy Trading doesn't use news, but I know that a lot of traders do. So I want to bring that up just to be on that same level with you. For me, the market doesn't care about the J&J news, right? So what they care about is what's going to come out as far as inflation is concerned and so forth. What I can tell you is that I follow the trend, and the trend so far has been extremely bullish. Notice that the banners on my screen are extremely bullish. They say it themselves, and they are testing back as far as trend is concerned, and they already let me know that. So as far as these green banners, as long as they're green, I'm bullish. All right, but because of that, we know that anytime things can turn around. All right, so notice here on the SPY, I have a neutral strategy. We talked about this. I actually sent the video out over the weekend for everybody to watch here on Twitter. And notice how the levels are working, right? So notice how we bumped up against the top neutral. And if you go back to my video, we need to close over this in order for this to happen. 413, 415, 418, so forth. Right now, you're just kind of hanging out in the neutral. Price on the 4 hour has pulled back into the 22 EMA, and you could see that we did start to go bid there, or buyers came in. Well, what can we expect today? All right, so nothing has changed on the SPY. You need to get over 411.80. All right, if price needs to find buyers, what we're looking for, if it breaks below the 22, 408.65. I talked about this in the video. And then down here towards this 407.11. Now, as a disclaimer, I told you before, I don't want to go short the market unless we start to break down below 407. Okay? So unless we break down below this level here at 407, everything else is just kind of sit, kind of hang out, stay neutral within this box here. Because over on the left, we're simply just hanging out, consolidating from a bullish trend, which you could see here. All right. So entries above 411.80, between and that gray box, basically I'm just staying neutral. And then entries on the short side for me if we break down below 407. And then you could see my targets below here, 404, 402, and so forth. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to now go into the Qs. All right, same thing, weekly on your left. On the right-hand side, we have the neutral strategy. Now, I do this neutral strategy over the weekend, set all my traders up, not only with a video, but a very nice setup for probably close to 7 to 15 charts. And they're all easy to read. All right. So the Qs, same thing. Nice rounding bottom. We called this bottom actually $35. $35 we called by using the same process to the upside. All right. So here we are after a nice run up, rounding bottom. The difference is that the QQQ, or the NASDAQ, and Q futures, we have not come up into that all-time high. We're making our ways up there. All right. So again, rounding bottom, you can see moving up very close to the all-time high, and then a slight pullback. Well, for most of you, this looks like a cup, nice pullback. It's hanging out in the neutral. So what do we do here? Well, it's the same exact thing as the SPY. As long as we're hanging in the neutral, just stay neutral, nothing to do. And the reason why I say this is because most traders, they end up losing money during a chop or neutral cycle. All right. I would say when I say most, I mean like 98% of traders have the hardest time right here. So I developed this process to kind of keep you from getting your butt handed to you. All right. So unless you like to sell spreads, sell premium, then this time it's like pump the brakes, slow down on the allocation, and just be patient to see if the trend is going to resume, or do we start breaking the trend and pulling back a little bit. All right. So again, entries here for me would not be until about 338.25 or a close below this 334.89 here. All right. Now, in my opinion, I'm going to sit here and talk a little bit. The market's just getting ready for these numbers. So a nice little pullback makes sense. All right. All right. Now let's dive into some names. All right. Some of these I may already have on. Some of these I might be interested in taking. Let's go ahead and start with FDX. All right, so yesterday I was waiting for this to pull back. I had a limit order. I just missed it by a little bit here. And then it gapped up this morning about $3 or $4 to the upside. I continue to absolutely like FDX. You know, some traders just have those names that they crush all the time. This is one of those for me. I love FDX. You can see here our green box has worked very well several months back and continues to work well. If you want to, draw a channel on this, you can see we're getting higher on the curve or towards the upper rail of this. But from a supply and demand perspective, we're also getting very close to a potential pullback. All right. However, we did test this area already 3 weeks ago, and we are slowly chewing away that supply as we continue to move higher on the curve. Just like the QQQ I showed you, we are making that nice U or that cup shape. And so my projected move is at least towards this 296 and 304 level where we could see a slight pullback. And then for the longer term swing position, 320. All right. All right. So let's look over here on the 4 hour. Slight pullback going on right now with the market. If we pull back today, my entry is 291 and a quarter basically by 289.88. Very specifically for me, I like to wait. All right. So not like a blind trade. And the reason why is because I'm monitoring the broad market. All right. So I have several screens behind me, several screens in front of me, and I want to be paying attention to the futures. All right. And a couple other things that we look at here in Trendy and just make sure everything's kind of lined up. I don't want to be taking a trade to the upside if things are really looking bad. All right, but this 291.34, 289.88, if we pull back to here, I like to just draw it out for you. This is what I'll be looking for. Once we come in here, let it sink in a little bit. We got the 9 EMA here, and I'd like to see a reclaim, and this is where I'd be taking the trade. My stops would go in where I'm comfortable. I teach all of that here by using certain deltas and options and so forth. And then I would be looking for that move up towards 296 and then over here towards the top around 304, 305. Again, buying time, I'd be looking for these targets, but I am not buying out of the money for these targets. Okay, I'm not going to buy the 320 calls. All right. So somewhere between a delta 30 and a delta 50. Basically, that's at the money to just a little bit out of the money. Okay. All right, and so my stop on this is important as well. You can see my risk or my stop at the moment is at 277.75. And again, I would be buying over a week. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Next one is going to be McDonald's. I do have a current position in this, and I shorted it yesterday. And it made a little bit of money here. And what I'm looking for is on the weekly we are going inside so far. McDonald's has had a beautiful run. All right. And the reason why I was shorting is just off of this double top up here. So same thing, a lot of these things look the same. Nice U shape, looking for that pullback. Overall, it's extremely bullish. All right, so we're just looking for a little bit of money here, and I think these got up to about 25, 30% or so. Today, if this continues to the downside, I'd expect 230.57 to break. If 237.57 breaks, I'm looking for a pull into 227 and 225, and that is McDonald's. My stop on this position would be above the highs here, so around 232 and a half. All right. All right, my next one is PayPal. I am in PayPal. I just started this position right before the close yesterday. And on this trade, this is interesting. It's come down into the trendy edge. Our traders here are taught how to take this off of this blue level. You can see that it's worked very, very well. From a weekly perspective, PayPal is looking extremely bullish with the rounding bottom. You can see that we're breaking above the cloud. That's also a positive. And you can see up here we do have some resistance around 284. All right, 284 by 308. Again, this is going to be an area of resistance. But this pink line is very, very important for today. All right. So what am I looking for? We're going to make this really simple. I'm going to take a line here and I'm going to find this little bit of area of support, which is around 266. For right now, we're going to make this a stop. And after we finish with this plan, I'll go ahead and talk more in detail. So we're going to call it risk. And I'm going to show it on the right hand side. And boom, here it is right here. All right, so this is a risk. This resistance level at 271.35, very important. This is the level we need to see break. So I'm going to say OCO. OCO is greater than or equal to this level, 271.35. One condition cancels or one cancels the other. All right, so we're going to put this here. And basically what I'm saying is if price can break above 271.35, I'm long with a stop at 266. Now PayPal moves about 21.60 a week and it's very volatile, so I do not want a super tight stop, and I probably don't want to be in the money on something like this. Let me go ahead and give you an idea of what I'm trading. All right, so a smaller risk for a weekly, and what we're looking for is a breakout above this 271.35. And again, I'm looking for the 285s. So check this out. These things are only going for 45 by 47 cents. Now, listen, I'm a smart guy when it comes to options. It's a 9 delta. Basically, what that's telling you is you have a 91% chance that you are not going to be in the money on this. Okay, this is a very low probability trade. All right, very low probability trade. However, I've studied these charts for a very long time in these levels, and the probability suggests we can break out if we can break over 271.35. So watch this level today. Very, very important. Again, I like it long over this level. I do like the support down here at 266. If this is too far, we're going to bring this up just right around where this trendy indicator, this green arrow is. We're just going to put it right under that. So about 267.78. Not bad considering it's trading at 270. All right. So this is what we're looking on at PayPal. So risk or stop right here. Entries over 271.35. And then when we come over here, again, nothing really in the way. You could find some resistance around 277. And then again, target at 284. That's PayPal. Let's go ahead and move into Square. All right, I'm also in Square and looking for this to break over the resistance. This looks a lot like PayPal, right? Except we don't have a level up here. Notice that level on Square is down here, and once we broke that, we had a high probability of a breakout. Very nice. All right, so here we are at slight resistance, 267.97. All right, so I do have an alert just right around there. If we could break out above that, I'm looking for the same look. A nice U shape, pull back to what was resistance, is it support, and then a breakout to all-time highs. This is Square. Now, far as a risk, far as today is concerned, same thing. For right now, I'm going to place this just right underneath the 9 EMA at 260. If I wanted it tighter, I could pull it up to 263.80. All right, 263.80. Notice that the 9 EMA is confluent with this 263. So again, just like everything I practice here, if for some reason we don't break that on open, and this goes for PayPal as well, then I'll be looking for the reclaim before I get interested. All right, so it looks like this. All right, and then we continue that trend. All right, so again, a lot of patience on the open. Let's see what the CPI numbers are going to be here in about 15 minutes or so. And moving on, we did PayPal and Square. Next one I'm going to be looking at is going to be Tesla. And I didn't actually write that on Twitter, and I apologize, but we're going to cover Tesla. So we're trading at 706. And, you know, I watched a video yesterday where somebody was speaking about, I think it was someone from TrendSpider maybe. Speaking about how Tesla is basically the probability, the higher probabilities. Monday, it's basically broken out, and then it does nothing for the rest of the week. And it's funny because we've been joking about that in the trendy room for the last several weeks. Mondays kind of sucked you in and then spit you out Tuesday through Friday, especially if you got bullish. You bought some calls on it and you're waiting. It's just not happening. All right. But there is some hope here, folks. So on the weekly, on the left-hand side, this is starting to look a lot better. All right, so we're just slowly building off of these levels. All right, and these are levels I gave quite some time ago, and we've just been hanging out at this. Now, this blue level for trendy means long-term long position here. So as long as we're staying above the 647, we want to ride this thing up into 830, 850, all-time highs, 966, 1011. All right. For now, though, it's just kind of chop city. We really start to get interested if price can break over this previous 2 weeks ago. So 1 week, I'm sorry, over this 708 level. So basically just over this white candle here. If we could just get above that. Once we start breaking above that, I'm looking for 740, pull back around 740, digest for about a day, and then over that, we're looking for 780. Okay? Ultimate target for right now is 836 if we can get some momentum in the market. Longer term, 647 holds. I'm still looking for 836. Okay? All right. Next one I want to look at also is Microsoft. All right, and here we are on Microsoft. This is looking really bullish. Nice nice pullback here, and let's see. This is a plan here. If 254 can hold, then I'm looking for continuation to the upside. I have extension targets over here, and that is 262. Okay, again, needs to hold this 254 level right here, and I'm looking for 262. And that is a plan, folks. If you want to learn how to trade that plan around options using Delta, it's very simple. Everything we do here, we always approach a trade understanding how much we can lose. I always say that you have three things with options, folks. They can go to zero, okay? You can hit your target, or you can get stopped. You choose which one you want to do. We'll teach you that process here at Trendy Trading. And today, what I'm going to do is actually pop back on when the market opens to trade live with everybody. All right, and so that way you can just kind of see what we talk, what we're looking for, and so forth. But this is what we just call, like an update, the morning trend, see how things are going to work out. Before I finish up here, let's go over to the ES futures. This is my baby. All right, this is my baby right here. This is what controls everything I do in the market. Basically, I'm going to make this really simple. I say this over and over and over. We had these setups, okay, over a month ago. We knew to get long at the green, and we want to pump the brakes at the red. How did we do that? There were no candles to the up and to the left. I did this all by using trendy methodology. If you want to learn that, come check it out. I've been doing this for years. I've been showing these same charts over and over. So we're in the red box. That means we pump the brakes. Just kind of chill out a little bit, right? But from the green box, this is where we want to be long. All right. So here we are. pushing up towards the red box. Again, need to just kind of chill out. And the ES futures are going to show me today. If ES futures can start to break over that 41.24, things are looking good on the SPY, which is what I showed you in the beginning of this. All right, but if we start breaking down, you can see here it's hit my bottom target to the tick, 41.01. That was our target to the bottom. And then if it breaks down 41.01, I'm looking for this 40.83 and so forth. And you can see that in here. All right, so we're getting close to the numbers, about 10 more minutes or so. For right now, today's range, 40.83 by 41.28. Both of these levels very key. Okay, 40.76. Let me adjust that. I apologize. 40.76 by 41.28. I would set 2 alerts on both of those. Anything between is just noise. Good luck to everybody today. I'm going to jump back on right before market open, about 15 minutes or so if you're interested. If you like the material, give me a like. Please retweet. You know, I want to spread what I do here. I believe in helping and educating. My work, it's proof of concept here. Only service out there using a brokerage account with live alerts that come and are sent within milliseconds. Fully transparent. We'll see you soon, again, about 15 minutes before open.